Lesson number 18, Management of the Welfare State of Swaraj. Can you name the various powers that Shivaji Maharaj fought? Shivaji Maharaj struggled long against many unjust powers. They were the Adil Shahi and Mughal powers, the Portuguese and the Siddhis of Janjira. That is how an independent Hindavi Swaraj was created. For smooth working, Shivaji Maharaj divided the administration into 8 departments. He appointed a minister in charge of each. This was his famous Council of 8 Ministers. The Swaraj of Shivaji Maharaj was a state run for the welfare of the people in the true sense of the term. It was run with the assistance of the 8 ministers. Shivaji Maharaj himself made the appointments of these 8 ministers and other important officers on the basis of their eligibility and merit. He supervised all their work. Do you know? Food, clothing, and shelter are the basic necessities of life. In a welfare state, these needs of people are satisfied. Women are honored, common people, peasants are not deceived. Injustice is not done to anyone. Justice is dispensed quickly. Agriculture and industries develop well. Folk arts flourished. People can live a happy, contented life. People lived happily in the Swaraj created by Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Therefore, the qualities of confidence, self respect, and patriotism strongly emerged among the people of Maharashtra. The Council of 8 Ministers. Name of the minister, designation, department. Moro Trimbak Pingle, Pradhan, Administration, Political. Ramchandra Neelkant Mazumdar, Amatya, Revenue and Accounts of the State. Ambir Rao Mohite, Senapati, Defense. Moreshwar Pandit Rao, Religious Matters. Niraji Rawaji, Nyayadesh, Justice. Annaji Datto, Sachiv, Government Orders. Dattaji Trimbak Vaknis, Mantri, Correspondence. Ramchandra Trimbak Dhabir, Samant, Foreign Relations. Something for you to do. Copy the Royal Edict for the protection of environment given in this textbook in big and beautiful letters and make a chart. Read it aloud in the classroom. Protection of environment. Natural environment includes the land in nature as also factors like air, rain, rivers and streams, seas, forests, the birds and animals, light received from the sun, etc. It is beneficial for man to make use of this environment only to meet his necessities. Shivaji Maharaj took precautions to avoid the destruction of these environmental factors. Shivaji Maharaj saw to it that the forests in his kingdom would not be destroyed by the people. From the royal edict, we can see that he had issued many orders like the following. For the navy, it is necessary to build boats and ships of various sizes and their beams, masts, oars, etc., for which wood is required. To obtain this wood, only teak trees should be cut. If more teak wood is required, it should be purchased from foreign territories. But on no account should mango, jackfruit, or other trees be cut. They don't grow in a year or two. People look after them like their own children in order to grow them. Cutting them is to inflict sorrow on the people. It should not be done. Even when a tree is greatly worn out, it should be cut only after paying the owner and getting his consent. Always remember, World Environment Day is celebrated every year on 5th June to emphasize the importance of conserving and protecting the environment. Water management. Shivaji Maharaj had various bunds built near the villages in Swaraj to make drinking water available to the people. Canals were dug out to make water available for agriculture. Due to this, there was an increase in the produce. People in Swaraj never felt the severity of droughts. During the regime of Shivaji Maharaj, the number of people living on forts were quite large. Shivaji Maharaj took care to make proper arrangements for water on the forts. Before building a fort, the place was inspected to see whether enough water was available there. In case it did not have water, tanks and reservoirs were built there. Before the onset of the rainy season, and the rainwater was stored in them. The stored water was used Economically, due to such water management, people on the forts and other subjects in Swaraj did not suffer from shortage of water even during drought periods. Can you tell why should we use water economically? Name a dam or lake situated near your village or locality. What is water management? What are the government schemes for water management? Do you know the government has started the project Jalyukt Shivar to make Maharashtra a drought free state? Drought relief. Shivaji Maharaj gave various facilities to drought affected peasants. He used to waive taxes so the severity of drought was reduced for people in Swaraj. In a drought year, Shivaji Maharaj distributed the grain stored in the state granaries free of cost to the people. He also undertook repairs of various forts and construction of dams, bunds, and canals during drought years. This way, peasants and artisans or balutedars could earn their daily living and did not feel the severity of drought. As a peasant became wealthy, he could afford to buy things like footwear, clothes, etc. This provided work to the artisans, those who were homeless till then developed the capacity to build their own houses. This in turn provided work to the masons, the carpenters, the blacksmiths, the brick makers. This is how, along with the peasants in Swaraj, artisans also become happy and wealthy. Can you name the market in your village locality? How did the market acquire that name? Sea trade and other markets. Shivaji Maharaj raised his own independent navy in order to protect his Swaraj well and to establish his rule over the sea adjoining Swaraj. But that was not all. He also had special cargo ships built to promote trade in Swaraj. He developed trade ports like Rajapur. He built a special market on Raigad. He started a separate marketplace at Khed, Shivapur near Pune. He developed marketplaces in big towns and roadside villages. A new pet or settlement was established at Pashan near Pune by the orders of Veer Mata Jijabai. It was referred to as Jijapur. Shivaji Maharaj levied more taxes on goods imported from the other side regions to promote trade within Swaraj. He levied more tax on the salt produced in the Portuguese territory, which made it costlier. On the other hand, he reduced the tax on the salt produced in Swaraj so that people could buy it at a cheaper rate. Naturally, it led to an increase in the trade of salt produced in Swaraj. Thus, local trade was encouraged. Shivaji Maharaj made efforts for the growth of trade and industries in Swaraj. He personally made sure that his subjects would not be cheated by the merchants in any way. When he came to know that people are being cheated in the coconut and bitter nut trade in Konkan, he warned the Subedar of that region. I regard for women. Shivaji Maharaj had ordered that the women and children in the enemy camp were not to be harmed in any way during the period of war. In fact, they were to be treated with great respect. The behavior of Shivaji Maharaj on several occasions set the ideal of how women were to be treated. The Maratha army had marched upon Belawadi in Karnataka to vanquish the fortress there. Mallama Desai, a brave woman, fought a great battle in defense of the fortress. When Shivaji Maharaj came to know about her courage, he called her his younger sister, returned the fortress and villages to her with honor, and gave her the title Savitri. Vigilance regarding cleanliness. During the regime of Shivaji Maharaj, measures were taken to maintain better cleanliness in homes and in public places. He issued orders telling people to make a fence of the Nirgudi bush around the house to prevent the entry of animals like mice, scorpions, insects, and ants. Fumigation was also suggested to destroy the germs that are harmful to health. People were warned not to leave garbage lying on the roads and markets on the fort. If garbage piled up in various places, in spite of all this, it was not to be thrown down the fort. It was to be burnt on the spot, and the ashes were to be used as manure for vegetables grown in backyards. Shivaji Maharaj's management of forts, guns and firearms, his navy, protection of the environment, water management, sea trade, markets, cleanliness and hygiene is a guiding force for us even today. Indavi Swaraj. Indavi Swaraj was a dream of Shivaji Maharaj. Anyone who lived in Hindustan, no matter to what religion or community they belonged, was a Hindavi. Their Raj was Hindavi Swaraj. Religious tolerance. The religious policy of Shivaji Maharaj was liberal. In his campaigns, he never caused any harm to mosques. If he came across a copy of the Quran Sharif, he would respectfully pass it on to the Muslims. He never hated Muslims simply because they were Muslims. If a person who had changed his religion wished to return to his original religion, Shivaji always helped him. His brother-in-law, Bajaji Naik Nimbulkar, was in the service of Adil Shah of Bijapur. Adil Shah made him accept the Muslim faith. Bajaji made Bijapur his home. He lacked for nothing, but he was unhappy that he had changed his religion. One day, he made up his mind to come back to his own religion. Shivaji Maharaj welcomed him back in his religion. The story of Netoji Palkar is similar. His religion had been changed, but he wished to return to his original faith. Shivaji Maharaj accepted him back into his religion. Remember him. Shivaji was a torch bearer in the dark night of slavery, a fighter who got the better of all difficult situations, who slowly but surely increased his strength while giving fight to powerful enemies, who encouraged his comrades and fooled his opponents, and in the end achieved his goal. He was a model son, a cautious leader, a skilled organizer, a benevolent administrator, a clever military strategist, a great warrior, a terror to the wicked, a defender of the good, and an epoch maker. When one sees all these brilliant facets of his personality, one cannot but say to oneself, bring to memory his wonderful image and remember his great achievements. Do you know, Shivaji Maharaj had great respect for saints and holy men. He honored temples. He also gave protection to masjids. He respected both the Bhagavad Gita and the Quran Sharif. He gave protection to Christian churches also. He honored learned men Paramanand, Gaga Bhatt, Dhundiraj, Bhushan, and other learned men received his patronage. He bestowed great honor on Sant Tukaram, Samartha Ramdas, Baba Yakut, and Mauni Baba.